What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber like Jerome and Go, thank you for the support. So in one of my previous uploads, I did ask if you guys wanted to see more battles featuring the double shadow team, Shiftry and Swampert, and a lot of you said that you did. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at 4 sets worth of battles that got me to 3100 ELO featuring the same team. Now this team does struggle a little bit against one particular line that does appear to be very common once you get past 3000 ELO, and that is Double Charm, also known as Charmhole. This particular line is very problematic for this team, in large part because of the 2 shadows in the back. Obviously Shiftry is pretty much useless against that, and the Swampert being shadow actually makes that matchup a lot harder because it doesn't do as well in the 2 shields versus Charmers, because the charm damage does so much against the shadow. Of course, a bit problematic there. Usually they do have Deoxys in the lead, so Skarmory has to sort of switch out as well, but overall the team has performed pretty well for me, helping me to go above 3100 MMR. If you guys enjoy these videos, please smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. So today's video is a bit longer than the normal videos on this channel, but I know some of you do enjoy these longer videos, so hopefully this isn't too bad for you guys. Ingbeto N92 here in the first matchup, and he is leading an Altaria. So Altaria is sort of a neutral matchup for Skarmory, but you could see it is very difficult for this backline. Both Shiftry and Swampert are going to struggle against this, so you have no choice but to stay in here. When the opponent shields this move here, I'm going to decide to let this go through, and I'm sort of giving up switch, especially at this point where I see that they get the 2 moves before me. I'm going to let this go, and I think my play here is to throw the Brave Bird. This will either do a lot of damage or it's going to get the second shield. Either of which I'm fine with. It does get the second shield. So at this point, I have 2 shield advantage, but I have to bring in Shiftry here. You can see Dragon Breath is really starting to pile up. So I kind of have to throw this energy as soon as I get it. Can't really afford to over farm here because of the Dragon Breath damage. So Foul Play will KO the Altaria. And now I have a 1 shield advantage still, but we see double flyer here, so this is problematic. Gonna throw this Foul Play, then immediately switch out into the Swampert and see what the opponent has in the back. I'm forced to shield here because this is a shadow Swampert, so you can already see that this double shadow strategy sort of is problematic, and we see a Whiscash in the back. Now because I have an energy lead on this, it's not too bad of a situation to be in, and it looks like the opponent's actually going for Blizzard, so that's going to allow me to go for 2 Hydro Cannons here, which is amazing because that knocks out the Whiscash, and as a result, this Skarmory I don't think would be able to KO me with a Sky Attack because they didn't land a Mud Bomb on me, so able to get to the Hydro Cannon there, take that first game. Let's move into the second match against dudubobo, and we are going to be seeing Skarmory into a Swampert. So this is, again, this is another sort of neutral matchup. It comes down to shields and whatnot, sneaking in extra fast moves. I'm going to let this first Hydro Cannon go through and build up for the Brave Bird. I guess I'm not going to build up for it, just going to throw the Sky Attack right away. The opponent does shield there, so they may have thought it was a Brave Bird. At this point, I remember in this particular matchup, I thought I could survive this and get to the Sky Attack still, but as it turns out, I do need to shield there in order to get to that second Sky Attack. So instead, I'm going to take the shield advantage, come in with the Shiftry here. Now this Swampert does have a lot of energy, so I'm going to shield this up. It is a Sludge Wave, so a good call there. And they switch out into Skarmory. So I'm going to throw this Foul Play, and basically we have a repeat of the last match where I'm forced to come in with the Swampert with 1 shield. Going to throw the Hydro Cannon here, and we're gonna have to shield up the Sky Attack that comes through on the Skarmory's end. And then I'm going to look to over farm here. Going to count the Air Slashes so that I could throw this Hydro Cannon just before it gets to the Sky Attack and have some residual energy here for whatever comes back in, which might be the Swampert. And unfortunately, you could see here they do outpace me, so I should have overfarmed a little bit more if I could have. Don't think I could though. And we see Galvantula come in. So my win condition here basically is to build up energy for a Leaf Blade and hope that this Foul Play KOs, but you could see literally 1 HP there on the Galvantula. That is why we lose the 0 shields. And had I knocked out the Galvantula there with the Foul Play, I would have beat the Swampert to the Leaf Blade, which would have gave me the win. But unfortunately for us, we do take the loss there. So Gen 3 or bust here in the next match. And we're going to be seeing Skarmory into Abomasnow. So As you can already tell, this is not all wins. There's going to be some losses in here, as well as some wins. We're going to take a look at both of those situations. The opponent brings in a Azumarill here, so we come in with the Shiftry. And the thing about Shadow Shiftry is that you still need 2 Leaf Blades to KO the Azumarill. However, Ice Beam will knock us out, so I need to burn a shield here. I think the regular non-shadow version of Shiftry could actually survive on Ice Beam, so that could be something for you to consider if you're looking to run this line with a regular Shiftry. And we do maintain switch, but we're down a shield, so we see Abomasnow come back in here. Now the great thing about Shiftry is that it is so powerful that we pretty much are guaranteed to get shields back just because of how hard it hits. You can see that Leaf Blade basically would KO Abomasnow in this range, so they do shield it up, but they farm us down, which isn't great, but Skarmory is very good to take all of this damage from the Abomasnow. I'm totally fine seeing it waste its energy here on the Skarmory as opposed to saving it for the Swampert in the back. So this is what I like to see. Marowak comes in, and here comes the Swampert. And at this point, because the Abomasnow did dump all its energy as well on our Skarmory, we should be in a very good position here. Didn't shield that first move in case they bait with the Bone Club, but it was a Shadow Bone there. So I tried to undercharge here, but you can see the Shadow variant of Swampert just hits way too hard. And this is going to get the final shield from the Abomasnow. And we're going to come in with the Skarmory here. Should be able to farm down with Air Slash because it did dump all of its energy earlier in this match. And that is going to be a GG. So a nice win there. And let's move into the next matchup here. Fishy plays 21. And we're going to be seeing Skarmory into Venusaur. So this is the dream lead. You love to see it. And the opponent instantly switches on to Marowak, so we're going to come in with our Swampert. And one thing we have to consider here is that once we get rid of this Marowak, obviously the Swampert is going to have an opportunity to farm. So you can see how hard that Hydro Cannon hits. Absolutely KOs the Marowak, whereas the regular Swampert wouldn't. Here you can see I built enough for the Sludge Wave, but actually for the Hydro Cannon, which is a complete new move. Don't really know what I was thinking there. I was expecting the Venusaur to shield, but it kind of makes sense for the Venusaur not to shield since they're going to be locked into the Skarmory after. So in that sense, I guess it doesn't make sense to throw Hydro Cannon in any situation there. I thought it gets 2, even then it makes no sense. Just go for the Sludge Wave. Either way, you can see the opponent comes in with the Stunfisk here. So we're going to bring in the Shiftry. And at this point, 2 shield matchup is very favorable for Shiftry. So we're going to take this game pretty much, especially because the Venusaur in the back isn't going to have any play against the Skarmory, so the opponent actually chooses to back out there. So we take that game, pretty much hard countering the opponent. BagreViolinuo in the next matchup. And okay, so this is another Venusaur lead, but this is how not to play the Venusaur lead. So the opponent brings in Stunfisk, and we come in with Shiftry. Now this is the right play. I like bringing Shiftry here, saving the Swampert at the back, because a lot of people do have this Bastiodon Stunfisk course. So you could see here I didn't throw, and now I'm forced to burn the shield before pressuring the opponent. That's still totally fine because I am going to get off 2 Leaf Blades here, but you're going to see the greed after this Leaf Blade. Instead of throwing it away, I try building again. I guess this time it paid off. We're going to get the shield, but the opponent is going to hit us with the Rock Slide here, which is going to force the shield. And now their switch timer is almost up, so I have to be aware that they might switch out. There's the switch, and I throw the Foul Play at the Venusaur. This is a huge mistake. I should have banked this energy and instantly switched into the Skarmory. Now all I did was lower the health on this Venusaur, which means I'm going to be locked into the Stunfisk matchup for even longer with my Skarmory. So I decided at this point maybe my best play is actually to let the Venusaur hit me with Vine Whips and Frenzy Plants and let my switch timer come back up. And I was debating whether this was the right play or not. Considering how low the Stunfisk is, this is probably the incorrect play. If the Stunfisk had more health, maybe it would be the correct play. But the Stunfisk is actually so low to the point that had I just farmed down that Venusaur and kept myself at green health with the Skarmory, I could have probably easily beat the Stunfisk, to be honest. As you saw there, it went down without even throwing a Rock Slide. So I kind of put myself in a dumb position here, because now this Umbreon actually has way too much health, and my Skarmory would be a lot better here if it actually had some health left over. So not the best situation. I bring in the Swampert here, and at this point we were lucky to get the shield from the Umbreon, of course, off that Skarmory to make this matchup a bit better, but we do lose the 0 shields here. So it's going to come down to basically coming in with Shiftry and throwing a move, but I don't actually think I have the Leaf Blade ready on the Shiftry, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. So I'm going to throw the Hydro Cannons here, and now I was looking to switch into the Shiftry and throw the Leaf Blade, but as you can see, it actually wasn't ready. I had to throw one more Snarl, and the opponent made an amazing switch out into the Stunfisk to catch that move. They farmed me down, and now they have energy for the Foul Play. So very well played there by the opponent. Coming back from a Venusaur lead, of course I did misplay it a little bit, a couple mistakes on my end, but that is no excuse. The opponent took advantage of those mistakes and deserved that win. So Danny 2697 here. In the next matchup, we see Sableye in the lead. So another sort of neutral matchup here. We will lose this in the 2 shields. So Skarmory here, gonna take this Foul Play the first time. And I think I'm just gonna go for the Sky Attacks here. I don't think I'll go for the Brave Bird. Yeah, so I'm gonna go straight for Sky Attack. And we do see the shield come up from the Sableye. So at this point, I'm gonna shield this Foul Play because I have the Sky Attack ready, and then throw that. And that should give me the win in the 1 shield if they choose not to shield this. So let's see how they decide to play this. They do shield, so at this point I'm actually going to switch on to Shiftry, and we get met by Skarmory. So you can see I do have a slight lead in energy, and they got that extra air slash in, which isn't good, but that makes the opponent think they could farm me down here, so they don't throw. And look at this, we get to the second Foul Play, which is going to KO the Skarmory, and we keep our shield because they didn't throw their charge move, looking to farm us down. So we do take that. The Azumarill comes in, we're not able to get to that Leaf Blade, but we still have a shield. We have Swampert, and although this isn't a great matchup with the Azumarill having an energy lead, because we have that shield, it sort of balances out. And then this Sludge Wave does hit super heavy, so I was anticipating the opponent trying to catch here, so I didn't throw right away. But then it looked like they were just going to stay in, so I decided to throw now. Sludge Wave comes through. Here comes the Sableye. That extra energy is actually going to allow me to get to this Hydro Cannon, which will knock out the Sableye. And the Azumarill comes back in. This move, this might KO, depends what it is. It's play rough, so we just survived and we mud shot down. But either way, we did have the Skarmory in the back to just air slash down there. So another GG. AcEscapingFate here. In the next matchup, we're going to see Skarmory into Victreebel. So again, this is another amazing lead, and usually this is the grass hole line. However, you could see here they are staying in with Victreebel, and I never see this, so I farm down completely. And what does that tell you? It tells you they have a second grass in the back, right? So there's the Tropius. I bring out the Shiftry on the Bastiodon to draw out the Tropius, and now I'm going to be able to align the Skarmory with the Tropius, Bastiodon with my Swampert, and basically it's just a hard counter game where the opponent doesn't really have anything they could do. So I'm going to bring in the Skarmory here, and I instantly threw, and then you saw I stopped because I realized I don't want to have my Skarmory locked into that Bastiodon. So I stopped tapping the bubbles, and now I'm letting the Tropius actually farm me up a bit. I'm not throwing energy because I don't want to be desynced there. But I also realized that I can't have this Tropius alive. I can't let them switch off energy for the Swampert. So you can see they did switch out there, so that was a little problematic. So I bring in the Swampert, but it's too much of a hard counter there. Don't really have to use any shields, so they just back out of that game. JBeach11 here in the next match. We're going to be seeing Skarmory into Beedrill. So Beedrill is a pretty spicy pick. It's a very solid pick too. Performs pretty well against the meta, but don't see it too often. Opponent switches out into Umbreon. I should have probably switched out immediately, to be honest here. I could have brought in the Shiftry, could have brought in the Swampert. Honestly, neither of those two Pokemon have great matches, but I think Shiftry would be a bit better here. And especially Shiftry would be the right decision actually because of the Beedrill beating the Shiftry as well. So I decided to let the Umbreon throw its energy now since I stayed in a little bit late, and then switch into the Shiftry. And Shiftry comes in now. At this point, it should be a pretty decent matchup, but Last Resort is going to hurt, so I'm going to shield this up, and we do call a Last Resort. Now I am going to get to this Leaf Blade, which I believe will KO from this range. So let's see if the Umbreon chooses to shield. This might not KO. They do choose to shield, and now I don't know if Last Resort would KO from here. I think we just barely survived, but I chose to take the safe route and just shield. Go for the Leaf Blade, and if they do choose to shield us, I have a second one ready, but they choose to let it go, which is the correct play on their end. And now Beedrill comes in, so I'm going to go straight for the Foul Play here. Now Foul Play is still going to do a nice chunk of damage, as you see there, and I come with the Skarmory now to force the last shield from this Beedrill, which they do give up. And now Azumarill comes in, so I'm going to look to throw this Brave Bird at this point. I'm very low in health, and I expect this Azumarill to knock me out with an Ice Beam very soon. And you can see, it looks like they're going to look to bubble me down, and they're successful in doing that, so that's not good. So now I'm going to bring in the Shiftry to force them to throw the energy just so that my Swampert could get to a move on time. And you could see here, because this is a Shadow Swampert, I'm actually able to KO here with the Hydro Cannon, I believe, in this range. So that is one benefit to having the Shadow there. Beedrill comes in, I'm able to outpace it to the move, and this is going to knock out the Beedrill. I believe Earth or Drill Run, maybe from the Beedrill, might KO in that range, but X Scissors definitely will not. Republic of China here in the next matchup. So we're seeing Skarmory into a Mew. This is a horrible lead, and usually Mews like to build up to 2 Wild Charge, which I believe is 12 Shadow Claws, but you can see there, I don't even know what I was timing there. I just brought in the Swampert, expecting to sort of tank any move it throws. We did catch a Wild Charge, we can see it still does hurt, and I actually didn't get to the Hydro Cannon, so I let this go through. I pretty much sack the Swampert without getting a move off, and now I'm going to let the Switch Timer roll and then bring in the Shiftry. Because the defense has been lowered, I believe I could farm down here. They switch out into Azumarill, so this is actually amazing for me. So I'm going to throw the Leaf Blades here, looking to throw back to back if I can. Before this Azumarill throws a move would be optimal, and you can see we are able to do that. Let's see if they decide to shield here. They do not. So we kind of each sacked one Pokemon. He sacked the Azumarill, I sacked the Swampert, and we see Galvantula come in. So this is a good time to have an energy lead on the Shiftry. You want to get this off before the lunge comes through. We do get the shield, and I'm going to shield this up for sure. At this point, it's a pretty tricky match though, because his 2 Pokemon do very well against mine, and he brings in the Mew to catch this move, which I'm totally fine with because I want to get rid of this Mew. And now I'm going to throw the Foul Play. Even though I am debuffed from lunge, this is still going to do a lot of damage, and it gets the last shield. So now I can bring in the Skarmory, which has energy stored from switching on that Mew matchup. Sky Attack is going to basically knock out the Galvantula. We take that game against a very, very difficult team comp, so pretty impressive win there. Bisheped here. Like I said, this guy is literally in every single video, and in this particular matchup he is running Jumpluff, so he has a different team every time as well, and that is quite the spice. Brings in Stunfisk, so I'm going to come in with Shiftry here. As you can see, I prefer coming in with Shiftry as the safe switch. For the Stunfisk, you can make the argument that I should come in with Swampert, but personally I like coming in with Shiftry. I feel that it applies a lot of pressure to whatever comes in after as well. And you can see we're going to throw the Leaf Blades here. Now we are forced to shield here, of course, at some point, because the Stunfisk will actually outpace us. So that is why I'm down 1 shield right now. But the Stunfisk does decide to let that go down without burning any of their own. So the Jumpluff comes back in. I'm going to go for the Foul Play here, and that's going to do some pretty decent damage. And at this point I thought he was going to throw energy, so I actually just went for the Leaf Blade before he get hit by the move, because I don't think they can really farm us down, and you can see they are going to throw. So this is likely going to be a Leaf Blade, Aerial Ace, I don't even know what the moves are. Aerial Ace, and Bastiodon comes in, we're coming in with the Swampert, and again, nobody likes seeing that Swampert in the back for their Bastiodon, so that's why I like to keep Swampert in the back for these particular matchups. iHyperion here in the next match, and we see a very, very difficult lead here. Stunfisk into our Swampert, I switch into Shiftry, get met by Mandibuzz, and this matchup actually wouldn't be like horrible most of the time, but because this Mandibuzz is actually running, I believe, Aerial Ace as the quick move, it's doing super effective damage to my Shiftry, makes this match really difficult. You can see the Leaf Blades, even though they're resisted, they do quite a bit of damage here to the Mandibuzz, and this is really adding up, although they are choosing to farm us down. So they're going to have a lot of energy, but I'm going to be able to bring in the Skarmory. You can see the Mandibuzz is in the red against resisted damage from Shiftry, so that's pretty impressive damage there from the Shadow Shiftry. I'm going to take all of this energy onto my Skarmory here, and I'm just hoping that Swampert could pretty much sweep whatever is in the back. We're going to have to see. I'm clicking it right now because I know the Stunfisk is coming back in, and of course that is not something that I'm going to be able to handle with both Pokemon. So I'm just going to throw the Hydro Cannon here, likely get the first shield from the Venusaur, and the second Hydro Cannon, unlikely to get a shield here, but it doesn't really matter. At this point the game is virtually over, and just the situation where we got hard countered, and I'm not even going to shield here, I just forfeit the game. So this is just a situation where it's team comp. You can't really do anything when the opponent's team completely counters yours, just like how our team sometimes counters the opponent's, right? Jetsen 1 here in the next matchup, and we are going to be leading Skarmory into Azumarill. So this is again another one of those sort of neutral matchups. Depends on landing the Brave Bird, depends on the moveset of the Azumarill. A lot of things to consider for this particular match here. Get hit by the Hydro Pump, which isn't optimal, but I'm going to go straight for the Brave Bird here. And I think I should be able to get to a Sky Attack after this, which would actually win us this match in the Zero Shield if they choose to let this go through, which they do. So we do win Switch. They bring in Hypno, so I'm very happy we won Switch at this point because now I could align that with my Shiftry. And we're going to have to shield this up because Fire Punch is very common on these Shadow Hypnos. You can see it's right there. And they bring in Galvantula, so I'm actually going to go for this Foul Play, which is going to do a very nice chunk. And no shield. Absolutely insane. I'm going to bring in the Swampert here to catch this move. And then I'm going to farm down. Look to throw a couple of Hydro Cannons at the Hypno and save the Shiftry for the end game. So I go for the Hydro Pump here. And the Hypno lets that go through. And they farm me down. I do have a shield still. And I'm going to be able to farm down here with Snarl, I believe, before they get to another move. So had they shielded the Hydro Cannon, you can see I actually would have got to 2 Leaf Blades there anyways. And likely would have won that match regardless. Alejandro CN17 here in the next matchup. Skarmory into Swampert, this time the Shadow Swampert. So Shadow Swampert actually hits very hard. And since Air Slash isn't doing crazy damage, this is a favorable matchup for the Shadow Swampert still. So Hydro Cannon comes through, I let it go through. Gonna get off this Sky Attack, which definitely will get a shield from the Swampert. It wouldn't KO, but they do shield, and they switch out into Sableye. And you can see I stay in here with the Swampert. With the Skarmory. Could have just switched into the Shiftry immediately, but I decided to let them throw their energy. Bring in the Shiftry now. This is a very positive situation to be in still. And this will knock out the Sableye. You can see that Leaf Blade is no joke from the Shadow. Now, they probably can't bring back in the Swampert, so we see the Bastiodon come in. So I'm going to throw this Leaf Blade here. And this isn't the best situation to be in, but of course I do have 2 shields. So I bring in the Swampert, and the opponent actually chooses to back out because that was a pretty rough spot to be in, down a shield. Booobermonkey here in the next matchup. We're going to be seeing Skarmory into Scrafty. So Scrafty is kind of problematic at the same time because of course very hard check for the Shiftry. So I kind of have to stay in here with the Skarmory. Now the first one that comes through is a Power Punch. I let that go through. The next one would be a Foul Play, which would knock us out. So I'm likely going to shield that move, especially after seeing them shield my Sky Attack. I don't want this Scrafty to have that much energy or that much health, I should say, for the backline. So I'm going to shield everything here, throw the Sky Attack. Happy to see that Scrafty go down. They bring in Bastiodon. I could actually choose to switch on to Shiftry, but I decided to let it go down, bring in Swampert instead. Sort of hard counter the Bastiodon and see what they have in the back. So Stone Edge comes through. They have a Toxicroak, which is very problematic for me. And at this point, I really wish that I had more health on this Swampert because Shiftry is not going to want to see this. So I'm going to look to throw back-to-back Hydro Cannons here. This will likely get very close to knocking out the Toxicroak. No, it does knock it out, so that's very good. I switch out into Shiftry. This is a very tough spot to be in here. Gonna go for the Leaf Blade. I don't think I'd be able to have gotten to the Hydro Cannon on the Swampert if I stayed in. So I'm gonna go for the Leaf Blade here once again. My play at this point is hoping that I could farm down with Mud Shot, but you could see the Bastiodon is going to get that Flamethrower off. And unfortunately for me, I'm not able to farm down there, so they do win that game. Very well played on the opponent's end. Ryoto 0142. In the next matchup, we got Skarmory into Bastiodon. So starting to see some pretty rough leads here. Gonna switch out into Shiftry, which is my safe switch here. You can see they're staying in because Shiftry isn't exactly a great counter for Bastiodon. I'm forced to burn the shield here on this Flamethrower. And now I have a bunch of energy ready. Will they stay in to take this or will they switch out? They're going to take at least this first one. And it looks like they're also going to take this second one. I should have a couple of Leaf Blades here. And if I'm lucky, I'll actually get to 3 Leaf Blades before it gets to its next move. But they switch out into Pelipper. So because they switched on to Pelipper, I'm very unlikely to get to this next move. before they farm me down. You can see there, very unfortunate. That's a case of the Shadow being a bit too weak. And I bring in the Skarmory here. So this isn't looking too good. Obviously, I'm not going to shield anything. I need to save this shield. And my Skarmory's kind of useless against that Bastiodon. So I'm just looking to farm down the Pelipper and then switch in the Swampert once the Bastiodon comes in. And again, hope Swampert could do something against this backline. Maybe it's Bastiodon Pelipper, Bastiodon Stunfisk, even then it's going to be difficult. But instead, it's another grass in the back. So really nothing I could do here. You can see I'm going for the Hydro Cannon bait. And I actually came up with a plan here. And that was to shield up this move here, throw the Sludge Wave, and of course we're going to get the shield here. Sludge Wave will KO this Meganium. And because that Bastiodon's actually so low, I was thinking maybe I could come in here, Brave Bird this Meganium, and maybe I could beat the Bastiodon to the Sky Attack, which would win. And you can see because my defense is lowered, I'm actually not able to get to that Sky Attack. But maybe if I threw one more Air Slash against that Meganium, we could have won that game. But I think the Meganium had energy and I wouldn't have been able to get there. I'd have to replay that. But it's pretty crazy to think we actually had a win condition there towards the end. Next matchup here, you can see another very difficult lead, Melmetal. So I safe switch into Shiftry. Don't want to get hit by Superpower here, so I am going to shield this up. Rock Slide would hurt. Like as a beta would hurt me like emotionally, but it actually is a superpower, so that's a good shield. Throw the Leaf Blade there, do get the shield. I'm gonna shield up again here, superpower. And this Melmetal is super debuffed. It's gonna switch out for sure. They bring in the Meganium here. I have pretty much 2 foul plays ready, so this is a decent spot to be in. And I'm gonna get to the second one. This only a Frenzy Plant is not going to KO. And hopefully I didn't click that foul play because I could farm up a bit more. Nope, I clicked it. That's a little bit unfortunate. Could have got at least 2 more Snarls in there before throwing. But it is what it is. If Melmetal comes in, it can't farm me down with Thundershock. So it is going to be forced to throw energy. And because of that, I'm actually able to get to this move. You see, I was trying to go for the foul play, but didn't think I'd make it. So I throw the Leaf Blade. We do get the last shield, which is amazing. And now I bring in the Swampert. They bring in the Politoed. I am going to swap into the Skarmory to catch this move. Very good, keeping the Swampert alive here. And because this Politoed is a Shadow, this should be a pretty straightforward victory from this point on. Coming back from a very difficult Melmetal lead, just need to get to the Sky Attack here. Not sure if this will KO, but should be fine. Even if it doesn't, they're going to... I don't know if Weather Ball will KO here, but even if it... I prefer it does KO, to be honest, so I could come in and farm with the Swampert. But actually, because we have so much energy, no point taking damage here. Just guarantee the win. Throw the Hydro Cannon here. No matter what the Melmetal throws us, we would survive, even if we weren't at this Hydro Cannon yet. So it was a pretty safe bet there. Just throw the Hydro Cannon at the Politoed, take that game, and let's move into the next battle. So we got Sakurako 4039. Going to be leading Skarmory here into Altaria. So again, we saw this in one of the earlier matches in the video. Altaria, very problematic for the backline, so we are forced to stay in this matchup, and we have to at least get this Altaria low enough to the point where we could come in and farm with the Shiftry, if not at least take a shield advantage. So you can see Sky Attack comes through, neither of us have shield at this point. I'm going to beat it to the next Sky Attack, and let's see if the Altaria chooses to shield here. They do. At this point, I believe I will match shields. Let's see if I do that. I do, and I believe I should get to the next Sky Attack before the Altaria does, so we are able to do that. This is going to either KO the Altaria or get the second shield. Because the Altaria was that low, I actually wouldn't mind which decision they made. They bring in Deoxys, so I bring in the Swampert here. Now, the thing is, if Deoxys actually is running Psycho Boost, this is actually a bad matchup for the Shadow Swampert. So that's one disadvantage to running the Shadow. But you can see they're running Rock Slide, so that is very beneficial for us. We see Blastoise come in. I'm going to switch out into Shiftry, which obviously has a great matchup here. Going to throw the Leaf Blade. This will do a huge chunk, almost KOs. This is only going to be a Hydro Cannon that is not going to knock us out. I'm going to let this go through, farm it down with Snarl, and I should be able to get to a move here against the Deoxys. Even though it's only a Leaf Blade, this will be enough to knock out Deoxys, so it will force the shield. And now I could just come in with the Swampert, had the Hydro Cannon ready, we win CMP, and we had a shield anyways if they had a move ready. So we're going to take that game right there. So let's move into the next battle here. Going up against Gonzalez George. And we got Skarmory into Galvantula. So this is a very difficult lead. And I bring in Shiftry, which is not a great counter for Galvantula, but it's actually pretty decent, especially because we do get to that Leaf Blade so quickly. And all we have to do really is match shields and we should be able to take control of the game here. I mean, they're staying in, so that's pretty good for me. Makes me think they might be a little bit weak to Shiftry. So now the shield comes up from the Galvantula. I'm going to look to shield this for sure. I don't think I can actually farm down with the Snarl here. So they do switch out into Stunfisk. So if I'm smart, I will get off the 2 Leaf Blades here before it throws a Rock Slide. Of course, they outpace me, so I'm not able to do that. We go down there. Coming at the Swampert here, we are down a shield. This is not looking too good for me because Earthquake is going to apply a lot of damage. The shield comes up. I should be sacking. Yeah, I needed to catch there with the Skarmory. That is a huge mistake there on my end because I really needed the Swampert alive to have any chance in this game. You can see I do get rid of the Stunfisk there. The Azumarill comes in, and at this point, it's pretty much... I mean, it's not over yet because we could still win this in the 0 shields, and the Galvantula is pretty low, but I have a feeling that they're going to switch into the Galvantula at some point, try to catch me off guard, and if I'm low enough, or if they have a move ready, it's game over. And yeah, this is not good. I should have just threw the Sky Attack at me. I mean, Sky Attack wouldn't KO anyways. I needed the Brave Bird. Galvantula comes in there as expected. Farms me down. Swampert comes in. Don't have a move ready. Gonna lose that game. Very well played by the opponent there. Very strategic. And a well-deserved win. Sled 94-95 here in the next match. And we lead Skarmory into Azumarill. So this is not as common a lead as it used to be. I remember seeing Azumarill all the time. It's not that common in the lead anymore. So opponent brings in Sableye. I love bringing in Shiftry for this. And they do shield. So at this point, return basically knocks us out. So I'm going to shield this up, even though it felt like a foul play, but have to play it safe because maintaining switch is very important here, especially because Shiftry still will apply pressure to the Azumarill, and we do get rid of that Sableye there. Marowak comes in, so this is a situation where foul play would really hurt, but you can see I'm actually going for 2 Leaf Blades here. As long as they don't sneak in the move, they don't. So we got the shield and we get the Leaf Blade through. I think that is best case scenario there, especially because we got the shield. Now if they let that go through, the 2 Leaf Blades would still hurt, so it'd be almost the same as 1 foul play going through. You can see they land the Shadow Ball, but they have 0 shields. I'm going to be able to get off this Sludge Wave against the Azumarill here, and then I believe I will look to switch out into the Skarmory and just go for the farm down. Nothing will KO, and then save the move for the Marowak in the back. So take that game. Though Tactical here in the final matchup of the video, and we're going to be leading Skarmory into Gliscor. So this is quite the spice here. A lot different than the Grass Hole team he was running in the last video. And you can see here, he switches into Deoxys, and I saw the Psychic type at the top, so I instantly switched into Shiftry, but this was a mistake, and this could cost me the match here. So obviously I should have came with Swampert against Deoxys, but it was a premature move there, seeing the Psychic type and thinking it was Hypno and just coming in immediately with the Shiftry. But fortunately for us, we did get both shields there from Deoxys, so we do lose switch, but at least now I could bring in the Swampert, which should have a good matchup here, unless he is running Psycho Boost. Let's find out. It's only Rock Slide, so this is very good for us. I'm going to throw the Hydro Cannon immediately. Probably could have farmed up a little bit more there, but it's totally fine. He did basically farm down the Shiftry, so might have had a lot of energy. Comes back in with Gliscor, which makes me think that he is probably quite weak to Swampert in the back. You can see that almost KOs. The thing is, I can't farm down here with Mud Shot, so I am forced to burn a shield here on the Night Slash, and I'm going to throw the Hydro Cannon. Just want to get rid of this Gliscor immediately, see what he has in the back, and it is a Galvantula. So getting to this Hydro Cannon is absolutely massive. Going to switch immediately into the Skarmory after this. Galvantula's in the red. Discharge will not KO, and 1 Air Slash, which already went through actually, will be enough to take this win. So we take that battle. Great matchup against Low Tactical, a very talented trainer. And after this battle, we did manage to climb up over 3,100, which was good enough for I think around 250, top 250 on the leaderboard at the time. So this team is a little bit risky to run. The 2 Shadows in the back, they apply a lot of pressure, they hit very hard, but it isn't the greatest team and it comes with a lot of risk, but it is a lot of fun. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.